Hello, fellow weebs. Welcome back to another video. Today's kind of a little bit more serious. I'm focusing on a movie again. Last week I did the Digimon movie. This week I'm doing the Haruhi Suzumiya movie. I know this has been out for like 10 years or whatever, but I just saw it. I really liked it. I heard this was the best standalone anime movie ever, and I actually really enjoyed it. And I'm not quite sure if I agree with that, but it's a really close decision for me. And basically, for this movie, I wanted to give you a little context because I tried recording this before, but it didn't fully work out because I don't know if you know all the characters involved. And basically, we have 5 main characters in Haruhi Suzumiya, the first one being Haruhi Suzumiya. And for some context, this isn't really a spoiler. This happened in like episode 2 of the anime. Haruhi is basically the god of this world, and in her thoughts, she can kind of manipulate what happens in this world. And so then we have the 4 other characters, and basically Haruhi, since she has this kind of thing where she needs this to find adventures, and she kind of just goes out and seeks things that seem adventurous. She wanted kind of supernatural things to occur, so she ended up creating an alien, someone from the future, and an Esper, and those are the 3 other characters that we focus on, besides the main character of the story, who is supposed to be this kind of like really drab fellow and this kind of really boring guy, and his name is Kyon, and we'll focus on him more later. But the other 3 are Asahina-san, who is the one who came from the future, and we got Best Boy, who is Itsuki, who is the Esper, and basically he fights off things that end up being appeared in this world because of Haruhi's distress and just regular stress in her everyday life. And then the last one, who is Nagato, who is this basically really stoic and serious girl, and she is an alien, and she has all sorts of weird powers that just came from Haruhi's mind, basically. And now to get on with the plot of the movie, basically what happened is that one day Kyon woke up, and what happened is that nobody knew who Haruhi was in his school, and the events that had transpired in the days before this were now kind of completely shifted. And the last difference that occurred is basically in the original series, there was this girl who was named Asakura Ryo, and she was kind of an alien as well, but she was an enemy of the main characters, and she kind of wanted to get rid of Haruhi. But in this universe, basically she's just a regular student. So she was back here throughout the movie, and it was really nice to see her again, even if she didn't play as much of a role or a series of or as threatening of a role as she did in the original series. And basically, moving on with the plot of the movie, what happens is that all of the people that Kyon knew because of his connection with Haruhi, because Haruhi had kind of met them and made connections with them, and he kind of just got involved. They did not know who he was, so he kind of tried to seek them out, and Asahina-san and Nagato did not know who he was. And the thing about Nagato is because she was kind of just like this very serious and stoic alien, but now she was kind of just a shy girl that read books. And Asahina-san just didn't know who he was, and she was kind of just moving on with her regular life. And the thing is, Itsuki, who was the Esper, he's nowhere to be seen, and the classroom that he was in no longer existed. And this was kind of a red herring, as we'll find out later. But as we move on with the plot, eventually Kyon was talking to one of his friends when they were eating lunch, and basically he said that he knew who Haruhi Suzumiya was. But the thing about this universe is that Haruhi Suzumiya did not end up going to the same high school, and as a result, she didn't meet any of the characters in this series. So Kyon ended up going after to find her where she was, and basically he went to the North High School and she went to the specialized high school that was for smarter kids, and when he goes there, he finds out that she actually goes to the same school as Itsuki, and Itsuki ended up going there as well. And basically what I thought happened in this universe was that Itsuki only existed for the purpose of protecting Haruhi, but it turns out that he did exist in this universe, and he was kind of still close to Haruhi in the first place. So I thought that he was just going to be gone entirely, but the thing is he did actually exist, just in a different sense, in a different way. So then, moving on with what happens in the movie, Haruhi still has the same kind of sense of adventure, where she kind of wants to seek out this whole squad that they had originally created, which is the SOS Brigade, and she kind of wanted to bring them back together, even if she didn't know any of these people in this universe. And that's kind of where the plot of the movie kind of moves forward. But the reason that I think that she did not end up going to the same high school and ended up setting all these other different things in motion was because she was like just slightly more logical and did not have like as much of a sense of just like being adventurous and fun. And basically what happened in the original series was at one point Hyun ended up going to the past and meeting Haruhi when she was 3 years younger. And what happened in this universe was that basically she ended up going to the other high school because in the original universe she went to the same high school that Kyun did because she wanted to find out more about this mysterious guy that she had seen when he had met her when he went to the past. But in this universe, she was slightly more logical, and she thought that, well, by the time I get there, he probably will have graduated, so there's not much of a point in me going to that school. So she didn't end up doing that, but she wanted to go back to the school and still meet all these people that she ended up knowing. So that's kind of where the movie moves forward, and then all the characters get like reunited, but the thing is we don't see more from a lot of them. And then what happens is basically the Nagato from the original universe, who was the alien, she was able to contact them through the computer, and she said that basically if Kyun clicked the enter key on the computer, he would be able to go back to the regular universe, even if it was with a few hardships. So in that universe, he kind of just ended up doing this thing where he went to the past again, because that's what happened when he clicked the enter key. And from there, he was able to see the future Asahina, and she kind of told him what he had to do. So basically, eventually at the climax of the movie, we find out that Nagato was actually the one that ended up changing this universe, but she still ended up leaving that note to have them go back to the regular one. So it was another kind of red herring. And so what happens is that he kind of has to shoot her with this nail gun to kind of reset everything. But what happens when he tries to shoot it is we get to see Sakura again, who is the original alien in the first series that tried to attack them, and then she stabs him in the back because her purpose in this universe is not to try to fight against them, but is actually to protect Nagato. And I like this connection they had, because in this original series they were both kind of aliens, but in this one she is just an overprotective friend. But then everything kind of gets really confusing, and I don't fully understand this myself, even after taking a day to try to make this video. And what happens is that when Kyun wakes up, he wasn't actually stabbed, and he is back in his regular universe, but in this universe he just has like a few scrapes on his head and body because he ended up falling down the stairs. So it's kind of just this thing where afterwards, once he gets back up and he's rehabilitated, he goes to meet Nagato again, but in this universe, Nagato, since she kind of messed with the universes, she can't properly stay in this universe for right now. And Kyon, since he knows that Haruhi is this omnipotent god that can kind of change everything, he decides that he's going to make Haruhi eventually bring back Nagato, and that's kind of where the movie ends on a high note, where they're kind of go back to regular life, but he's obviously going to seek out his friend that he had just spent all this time with. And that's pretty much it for the video. If you liked, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And another thing, basically, if you're the 10th subscriber, put down a comment and I will make a video on whatever you want, unless it's something like absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's it. See you tomorrow, I guess.